Thank you for recording. Yeah. A lot of people think, no, if we give us the hands, it will facilitate the communication and so on. But no. No physical methods can produce the unity amongst us when there is no unity of thought. So there is no ritual or whatever for guaranteeing some unity. The only unity is the sincere, the real one. The people having the same goals, the same objectives, which are meeting together for the mediumistic meeting. So the facts to give the hands or whatever other type of ritual or physical method does not help. Okay. Evocations, is it preferable to make evocation at certain days and hours? Here the answer is clearly yes. I think we told that several times already. So if possible, the same place as well. So given day, given time, and given place. Those are the ideal conditions to facilitate the work of the spirits because they have to organize themselves, prepare the place, and they have other things to do. The spirits who are working on helping us in a mediumistic meeting are probably working on helping a lot of other mediumistic meetings. So they need to organize themselves. So that's why we need given place, given days, given time, which is the better condition. Spirits will more willingly appear. Your constant wish is what helps spirits to come and communicate with you. Constant wish of doing good. They have their own concerns, which they cannot suddenly leave unexpectedly for your personal satisfaction. So the thing here in France, some people are like that. Oh, I will do a mediumistic meeting this evening, or so in an improvising way, and this is not good. When I say in the same place, I am not implying an absolute conditions because spirits can go anywhere. What I mean is that it is preferable to have a place dedicated to meeting because it's lead to better contemplation. Okay? So contemplation, which is, how to say, a place, because the place where we are meeting, where we are praying, where we are gathering, where we are working, is getting impregnated with our own fluids. The place where you pray, or even you go to a church where a lot of people are praying, you feel these vibrations of prayer. And the same on the spiritual side, because they are preparing the place, making some protection sometimes as needed, so they can do it anywhere. But it's making the work easier and probably stronger, the protection stronger when we are at the same place. 17. Oops, sorry, it's jumping. Okay, 17. Do certain objects like medallions or talismans have any property for attracting or repelling spirits, as some people claim? So what is the answer in your opinion? That is a pointless question, since you know that matter exerts no influence over spirits. You can be sure that no good spirit ever offered such absurd advice. The virtue of talismans of any nature only exists in the mind of superstitious individual. So the answer of the spirit is quite strong, isn't it? But it is truth. It is true. Again, you have people, no, I have crystals, I have this, I have that, so my home is protected against bad spirits. So not saying, but we can continue deducing, okay, even if we have bad thoughts, the crystal will protect us. Not really, okay? Again, the most important is, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Do you have good thoughts or bad thoughts? Basically, what governs the good or bad spirits coming is the law of affinity, nothing else. And the the material stuff. Of course, a crystal or let's say a candle can help some people. They like to see a candle and they can have a better, what's the name? Contemplation when they are looking a candle. Okay, so if someone needs a candle to have a better contemplation, concentration, and so on, why not? But deduce from this that the candle is mandatory for having a good contemplation is not true. You have a lot of people which are able to contemplate even without candle. Some may even get concerned. Okay, I have to take care that the candle does not collapse to put fire in the room or whatever, you know. It may even bring some inconvenience. But matter exerts no influence over spirits. Everything is in the thoughts. Liz?
Hi. Yeah, I was just wanting to ask the question. How is it then that with many mediums and clairvoyants, they need to hold something belonging to somebody in order to connect with that person? Say, like when they're helping the police, you know, to locate a body or somebody who's lost, or even mediums I've seen too when they were trying to connect with my son earlier on. Have you got anything I can hold that connects me better, you know, with that person? I suppose it's for the mediums help themselves, or how would that work?
You told it, huh, to connect better. Huh? So
Yeah.
again, a good medium, assisted by good spirits, can connect with every person, even without picture or without object or anything. Huh? But the fact to have something that belongs to that person, which is indeed, as I told, for the room itself, the place impregnated by the fluid of that person, is then helping, particularly for the medium having this psychometry faculty, to get better in connection with the person to whom it belongs. Okay, but what is at stake here is to say, no, I have a talisman, so I'm protected. You know, when I started the first spiritist group I saw in France, coming back from Brazil, I had my will was to run away. When I saw they brought me to the room where they were making the meetings, and when I entered that room, I see how to say, some electric heating device with something on top of it. So it was lead which was smelted. You know, they had it was you know, a lot of what is incense? Moni, you have to help me.
Yeah, incense. Yeah,
Incense.
yeah.
Yes, you know, smoke, and they had a espada.
Yeah, sword.
How to say it?
Sword.
A sword, you know, making rituals like this in terms of you. So my willing was to, no, please run away. And my mentor was there. He said, no, stop, stay. Basically, they really were absolutely convinced that in order to be protected, they need all those stuff. And at a given point in time, I asked them, but why did you call me? Why did you call us? Yeah, because what we get is not so good. We would like to get more instructive, more interesting communications and so on. So I told them, look, what are you thinking? What is your intention? What do you want? Well, it took some time, but they got convinced that all this stuff was basically useless, only in the belief of everyone. And the spirit talks here about superstition. Superstition, what is a superstition? Is to believe in something which has no meaning, no sense, so something senseless. So superstitious people, imagine you have a spirit willing to deviate from the right practice. It is very easy to make them believe and to deviate them from their correct track, isn't it? Superstition is not good. I think it's making you quite weak to spiritual perturbation.
Yeah, we were always told never to go into any rituals and also to never fall into any superstition whatsoever, because, you know, it is a kind of form of manipulation in a way. And not only that, you know, the spirits really attempted to make a mockery of it anyway.
Exactly. You know, spiritual world, there is nothing material, okay? So how can material things influence them? Then, of course, you have all this tradition. You had sacrifices even. Huh? When you go to Brazil, sometimes you see what is so-called despacho, huh? Where they call these macumbeiros and other people who are killing animals and so on, offering for the bad spirits to go and to say make problems to someone or for given purposes and so on. Okay, I would say I don't say it doesn't work, huh? Because the people are quite afraid from Macumba, and the bad spirits, they yes can ask for stuff like that, huh? Pushing fluids for blood and whatsoever as a kind of a reward for going and trying to jeopardize someone. Okay, but what do we want? Do we want bad spirits or do we want good spirits? The good spirits, they absolutely they run away from this. Huh? They walk away when they see this type of things. But when good spirits see good thoughts, good intentions, willing to do charity, to help and so on, then they come and they will protect us against all the bad spirits. Everything is a question of thoughts and of affinity, of syntony. Christine?
Hi, Charles. I was just thinking, I used to be very much into aromatherapy. I still do like to do it, but I haven't been able to do it for some time. Things like having lavender just in a room helps to relax, can help to relax a person. So things like that, is that would that be seen to be something that's unnecessary if it helps the medium to relax and make,
yes, I told
make others
like
feel more comfortable?
you're right. I told I gave the example of the candle. So we should not blame someone because the candle helps me so much to relax, to get concentrated, and so on. So we should not blame. But what is wrong is to believe it is without candle it doesn't work. That is wrong. But if it helps one or the other, or if you like, for instance, a given type of classical music, or you put some give you to breathe with a good smell, you know, a perfume or something, why not? If it helps you to relax, it's useful, at least for this. But to think what's wrong is to go beyond that, to think that if I put this type of perfume, all the bad spirits will go away. That's wrong. It's definitively not the way to protect us against them. The only way to protect to protect us against the bad spirits is to attract the good spirits. When the good spirits are attracted through our good thoughts, through our good intentions, through our discipline, our organization, and so on, they come, and the bad spirits, they put them immediately under control. You know, they may let them sometimes, how to say, challenge you for good purposes, but as soon as they take up, like Jesus, when they presented him the people, the guy which was, how to say, obsessed by spirits. The spirit said, we are a legion of spirits, and Jesus just, with the force of his thought, the legion ran away, you know. And it's through the thought and through the goodness, through the moral authority of Jesus, you know, and not through any material artifact. Munir?
Thank you.
I just want to add to that, Charles, is that it's not a physical object per se that has some magic power. It's the impact that the object has, in us. I like quiet music, for instance, to to concentrate, to be able to, contemplate as such. It's not the music. It's not that I put that music in the room, that just, as Charles said, the bad spirits will go away. No, it's not, but the impact it has in me. It may uplift me, and then by uplifting me, my irradiation will become, different. And it will affect the environment. We will attract good spirits instead of evil spirits. And for instance, if I light a candle, for one person, it may mean something very special. For the other person, it may have no meaning at all. It's just, a source of light in the environment there. So for that person, the first one, it will have an impact in the state of mind, in the condition of that person. The other one, so it's not the candle, it's what the candle represents for each one. It's the same with pictures, with images of saints and the icons and everything else. But Charles mentioned something which is this kind of witchcraft, macumba, that some people do and sacrifice some animals for that. And when it comes to animals, not only the purpose of that person or the group of people is to do harm to someone, but also there is fluid involved in that, because we're dealing with living beings, animals, who are sacrificed, and of course they have fluids around them, and the spirits also, in this case, in this type of work, they manipulate those heavier fluids, because they are related to material body in a dense world. So it goes into a slightly different department in that sense, because there are fluids involved. But when it comes to objects, inanimated objects, then it's just a question that how the signal the object sends to us, what it represents to us, and then our state of mind will be adjusted according to that. In the case of smell, Christine, this particular case of smell, we know there are molecules in the air, and the molecules, they have an impact in us, not only directly, but indirectly as well. Some people, when they smell rotten flesh, for instance, they feel like throwing up. Why? So it has an organic reaction when it comes to certain substances, especially aromatherapy. And we know that, even if you make an infusion of some of these herbs, they also have the same impact in us, but then it's more, it's also, I would say, also chemical in that sense.
So you see, I must admit to you here on my desk, I just take one thing which is on my desk. It's this,
Yeah.
So it's just how to say, the image of Kardec. So the use is it's heavy. So I put it on the paper. When the window is open, the paper don't fly away, But on another hand, when I look to Kardec, it helps me to concentrate my thoughts, recognizing and being grateful for the huge, for all what he brought in my life, So what's wrong in that? But if I don't have it, if I do a mediumistic meeting elsewhere and I don't have it with me, no panic at all, because it's absolutely not indispensable. And then there is another aspect here. Some mediums have the faculty to, for instance, they need a crystal ball for exerting their mediumship. Some others need a cup of water, like Antoinette Bourdin, for instance, which was end of the 19th century in Geneva. Some others, they need to look in how to say, the bottom of a cup where there was coffee in it. But these are also, I would say, some particular cases. And that medium can see good things in a crystal ball. And without crystal ball, he cannot see anything, So it's, again, case by case. But again, the real good, very good medium does not need a crystal ball or anything. He will syntonize with the spirits and get the communications without needing the need of anything material. Liz?
Hi, everyone. I have to, this conversation is so interesting. I had a very interesting dream last night, and it was more or less around the same thing. And this theme of talisman and things been around me this week. And I used to be a very superstitious person. Like to go to university, I engaged in, who is Brazilian, he knows in Brazil you have to do a rigorous test to be able to enter in any university. And I had to use this particular short, and I had to be in that particular place. And this ritual, it was such a ritual. And but that ritual, I felt that helped me to be at some peace. So I think, yes, it's erroneous of us to think that a ritual in itself is going to do something, or an object that is inanimated has nothing more in there than just an object. It's going to do anything that is intelligent and, to guide us or protect us. But like, as we mentioned, some religions, I think I really would like to mention that, for example, in Catholicism and in other religions, you have rituals. And these rituals and some objects, like you said, Charles, when you see, it kind of gives you an impact, and Muni said as well. And it can be for the benefit, and sometimes not the ritual per se that is doing anything. And the people in those religions may feel like, yes, this ritual just helped me to get into that state of mind. This ritual just helped me and guide me, kind of a little bit of a key to get to a point where I have to go for contemplation or achieving some higher state. So I think we just need to see as we always see here in Spiritism, the intentions and what attachment people really have to those things, what it really means, and our deeds, and what we are using things for, our beliefs. So every case is a case. I just want to share a little bit of my opinion on that. Thank you.
And there is another aspect here is when you go to this esoteric, how to say, expos, you see that this type of superstition can cost you a lot of money, isn't it? Because there is immediately a commercial exploration on this, and my talisman has really much properties, and the price is climbing enormously. So that's why you see Spiritism, it doesn't cost anything. Good thought is only with your will that you get them. You don't need to spend 1 penny for it. That's another aspect of this thing. Okay, I wanted to say something else, but I forgot it. Maybe it will come back. So 18, what do you think about spirits who set appointments in gloomy places at inconvenient times? You need be at 2 o'clock in the morning in that cemetery. What do you think about that? These are spirits who have fun with those who listen to them. It is always useless and frequently dangerous to give into such suggestions. Useless because absolutely nothing can be gained beyond being deceived. Dangerous, not because of what the evil spirits might do, but because of the influence they might exert on your weak minds. So it's self-supporting, doesn't need a lot of comment, isn't it? I remember one person who fall into an obsession, and the spirit was really making such things with her. No, you need, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you need to stand up, you need to prepare yourself because you will die and blah, 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 and things like this. So it's never a good sign. And if we enter in this type of syntony, let's say so, it can get very dangerous. So no, it's Mondays, 8 p.m. at that place, full stop, nothing else. So being rigorous and with discipline is the best guarantee, and the good spirits are saying this to us. So we are not imposing it to them. We are just sticking to this discipline in order to make the work more efficient and have a better protection. Okay. Are certain days and hours more propitious for evocations? I told Mondays on 8 o'clock. Is it better Sundays, or is it better in the morning or in the evening? Answer: it does not matter at all to spirits, like everything else material, and it would be superstitious to believe in the influence of certain days and hours. The most propitious times are when evokers are less involved in habitual occupations and when their body and spirit are calmer. You see again, don't do it 5 minutes before coming back to work, off work, or don't do it also when you have an important, just before going to work or things like that. No, do it at a point in time where you had a small reflection and a small meal, and you know, when you are really at ease and when there is nothing else bothering you, because all the sources of concern you may have will make the mediumistic meeting more difficult. Okay, it's better to have the better place and time where we are free, when we are relaxed, not too late when we are not falling asleep, and good common sense advices like this. Okay. 20. Is being evoked pleasant or unpleasant for spirits? Do they willingly answer when we call them? So what is the answer in your opinion? Depends. So it's exactly like this. That depends on their character and the reason why you call them. Whenever the objective is praiseworthy and the means are sympathetic, evocation is pleasant and even attractive. Makes sense, huh? Spirits always feel happy when with displays of affection, the law of love, which is also the most important governing the spiritual world. Some consider it's a great fortune to be able to communicate with humans, and they suffer when they are forgotten by them. Some communications Kardec sent was exactly, why don't you call me more often? For instance, from Samson or the former which were participating alive to the meeting and who passed away in the meantime, for instance. However, this also depends on their character. As I have already stated, among spirits, they are misanthropes who do not like being inconvenienced and whose responses mirror their bad mood, especially when called by individuals whom they do not care about. Again, spiritual world is like our world. There is nothing. We have misanthropes here, people who like to stay alone, who are turning off their phone and whatever. They don't like to be disturbed and so on. So you have the same in the spiritual world. So this is an example of spirit who will not be very happy when you call him. A particular spirit often has no reason at all to answer the appeal of someone it does not know, or toward whom it is indifferent, and who is usually motivated by curiosity. In such a case, if it answers at all, it is usually in quick appearances, provided there is actually a serious and instructive objective in the evocation. Okay. Oh, let's be curious. Let's evocate, I don't know, the spirit of De Gaulle or Churchill or le commandant Cousteau or whoever, by curiosity. Do you think they will come? No? Probably not. And so it's also a question of common sense. So if depends on our motivation. If our motivation is sincere, is serious, is to learn, is to help, then yes, they will come. But if it's just by curiosity or for the sake of having messages with nice names as a signature behind, most of them will not come. They will not show up. Okay. So again, this is what we called at the beginning, I think was last week or the week before. This may be one of the reasons why Chico, for instance, said the phone call in the communication with the spiritual world is done from the spiritual world to us and not the opposite. These persons who say, even in the spiritist movement, it's not good to evocate spirits or to call a given spirits, okay? And it should not be done. See, it's not the position of Kardec. He says, no, evocations are useful, but serious evocations, not evocations motivated by curiosity. Oh, I would like now to call my grandfather or whatever. He may be occupied elsewhere. The only spirit we can evocate, or we should evocate at any moment, even for simple things, is our spiritual mentor. And why? Our guardian angel. Why? Because he's here for that. That is his duty. And he will know even before we call him what is our problem and what we would like to. And he will always give the most appropriate answer to us. And he may even say to us, why do you call me for such silly or material things? He may correct us if we abuse in calling him, but he will never be offended of having been called. Okay. Okay, so and when you read the Spiritist magazine from Kardec, you will see that there are some cases where it appears quite obviously. For instance, even with a serious purpose, they wanted to call spirits who were not so happy of being called. Like, I give you one or two examples. There was a queen, the queen of Oud, from Egypt or that region, who came to visit the Queen Victoria in UK for the Commonwealth, and in their travel back, she passed in Paris, and she discarnated in Paris, and there was a huge ceremony and so funeral and whatsoever. So Kardec, they decided, okay, let's call her spirit to see how is the spirit of a queen, which had so big prestige in their country and so on, after passing away. So it was for this purpose that they evoked the spirit of the Queen of Oud. But when you see the answers the spirit gave, it showed very clearly that the spirit was not happy to be called. Who are you? I want you to be on your knees in front of me, whatever, but it was for learning that the spirits of such type of persons, they do not get rid of these habits and uses once they pass away and go to the spiritual world. So it was for learning with the case. So that is why the good spirits brought her spirits, but because even if they would call her, she would not even have come, and if she came, it is because Saint Louis or some other spirits brought her, again, for learning purposes. So Kardec is adding here a comment to the answer of the spirit. We have seen persons who only evoke their relatives in order to ask questions about the most ordinary matter of material life. And to call anytime the mother or the grandfather or the grandmother, what I should do with this, where should I put that, or should I paint this, in which color, or whatever, this type of things. For example, one wanted to know if he should rent or sell this house. Others who have wanted to find out what kind of profit they would make on their merchandise, the place where some money was hidden, or if such and such a business would be profitable or not. Our relatives beyond the grave are only interested in us due to the affection we still have for them. If all our thoughts are limited of treating them like fortune tellers, or if we only want information from them, they cannot show much sympathy for us, and we should not wonder when they display little kindness toward us. Self-supported as well, very common sense. And this is even with, how to say, our relatives. We should have the respect for them. And again, what is more important is love, because once they are beyond the grave, material things do not matter at all for them most of the time. So, okay, that's another good teaching here. 21. Is there any difference between good and evil spirits with respect to the willingness with which they answer our call? Are the good or evil spirit more likely to answer or not? Answer, yes, there is a big difference. Evil spirits only answer willingly when they hope to dominate and deceive. They are very unwilling when they are forced to manifest in order to confess their wrongs. And they try to get away like a school child who is called up to be reprimanded. Interesting parallel they are doing here. Nonetheless, they can be forced to manifest by higher order spirits as a punishment and as a lesson for incarnates. Evocation is unpleasant for good spirits when it is for no purpose or for trivialities. They either do not answer at all or soon withdraw. Okay, so it's again a question of purpose and put you in the place of the spirit. Would you come when somebody's calling you for things you do not, of very little importance for you? No, you don't go or you don't stay long. Okay, and the bad spirits, when they see they can dominate and so on, yes, they come when you put you in a weak situation. But when you want, how to say it, for instance, to dialogue with them, to bring them to better intentions, they may also try to escape, like the example of the school child. Okay, so everything depends, and the best again is what he's writing, forced by higher spirits. Let's always be in sympathy, having good purposes, and then the higher spirits, they will judge this type of situation, because we do not have always the immediate perception of the situation of a spirit who is coming, but they have it. And so by staying in sympathy with them, staying tuned in the inspiration and intuition, then yes, with their help, we will be able to make efficient work even on evil spirits. And the spirit is continuing the answer. Whoever they may be, spirits generally do not like to serve as a distraction for the curious any more than you do. Okay? Put you in the place of the other. Do you like to serve as a distraction for someone? No. So the spirits do not like either. You often have no other purpose for evoking a spirit than to see what it might have to say to you, or to question it about some particularity of his life, which it has no interest in revealing to you, because it has no reason to confide in you. Okay? Again, this is mostly motivation by curiosity. Do you think that it likes to be cross-examined at your pleasure? Don't fool yourself. What it wouldn't do while alive, it will more likely decline to do as spirits. Okay? So here I think again very straightforward, very clear. Huh? And Kardec is completing this answer with a comment. Experience, in fact, has shown that evocation is always pleasing to spirits when done for a serious and worthwhile purpose. The good ones take pleasure in teaching us, and the suffering ones are consoled by our sympathy, while those we have known are pleased when we remember them. Frivolous spirits like to be evoked by frivolous persons because it gives them an opportunity to have fun at their expense. But they feel ill at ease in the company of serious individuals. So we see here a very nice illustration of the law of affinity, isn't it? Liz?
Hi. Regarding, evoking spirits and their relationship to you, when it says they're pleased and, what kind of things you discuss with them, I think, is it not a really important aspect as to the relationship that you actually had when you were together with them when they were incarnated, as to their eagerness and helpfulness and, wishing to chat and have company, and being very close. Is there any reason why that should change? Obviously, as they're learning and, they have their responsibilities in the spirit world. But I would say, isn't that a good gauge regarding their willingness to participate with you as to how close you were and the kind of relationship you had when they were alive on this side?
Yeah, I think definitively, yeah. Here it's written, where is it? Those we have known are pleased when we remember them. You remember them. How do you remember them? In good? Then they are pleased. Do you remember them in bad? Then they may not be so pleased. Huh? Was it an enemy, someone you hated? And are you calling with hate thoughts? Will also not help. Huh? Was it an enemy, and are you calling him with your heart to forgive or to help or willing to help or to solve the problem? Okay, he may be more pleased to come. Even so, he may not be ready to forgive on his side, but it will be something positive going to him, So everything is depending like this, huh? Or as we have seen just now, okay, you are calling them for very silly material stuff. They don't care anymore, much less since they are in the spiritual world. Okay, they may come because they love you, but they will tell, look, change your mind. Don't give so much importance to such things. They will come answering differently from the way the answer you may have awaited from them. Okay, so it's just put you like if you go to meet someone. Okay, you go to meet a professor of the university for what? For asking him the opinion of a scientific book for kindergarten school, or do you go to them for a higher purpose? It's exactly the same as we have here on Earth. Even in a way, with an additional difference that the spirits, once in the spiritual world, they give much less value and attention to the material things. Okay, so that's what you have in mind when you are calling them, and even relatives.
Because like my son said, he enjoys sitting with me when I'm studying, and he's learning just as much, and he kind of helps with the study, enjoys it, and also says he assists me with the mediumship practice and gives me feedback. you know,
Yeah.
and says, oh, you're not recognizing like who's coming near you, what kind of spirits, whether they're suffering spirits, you know, and I'm getting the feedback.
Mhm. So
So-
then it is, you see, a more useful purpose.
Reciprocal.
Voilà. Is useful, is to learn, is to progress,
Yeah.
is to do better, and so on. And even so, it has to be somehow his mission, okay? Because his mission may be also different. He may have other needs than staying always behind us and help us. You
Oh,
know, we
yeah.
have also to
Yeah.
respect everything. And so even if it's not one spirit who is helping us, it can be another one, or they may even change, hand over from one to the other. This all under the supervision of our spiritual mentor, which is here dedicated normally full-time for a lifetime to us. Okay, so that is the one we should always refer to. But then, of course, the people who love.
He did say and apologize that, you know, I'd noticed that he wasn't around for quite a while, and he said I had work to do, you know, but you noticed
Yes.
that I wasn't there, you know, so he does say that, yeah. And it does, you know, confirm what you've just said. Of course, they have their other, you know, that's very important, the work that they have to do. And that's part of their learning, that's part of their mission too, in spiritual world.
You see, it's like when you have a son in your life. The son or the daughter can help you, but this does not enable you to ask them to help you full-time, permanently, not leaving them to do anything else. I think it's obvious. So it's the same with the spirits. We should respect them.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Yeah.
And not monopolize. As it's not also to use, but not to abuse. That's basically
Yeah.
the thing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. 22. Do spirits have to be evoked to manifest? Answer, no. Most often they manifest without having been called, which shows that they do so of their own accord. So these are the spontaneous manifestation of the spirits. And this is what is even sometimes encouraged by those people who are of the opinion that we should not do evocation. They just leave the spirits come spontaneously. Okay. As we told, wrong is to either 100% one, 100% the other. This is why here it's clear there is always a mix of spirits which are evoked and spirits which come spontaneously. 23. When a spirit manifests without being evoked, can we be certain of his identity? So that's another question. Some people, they think you have to evoke a spirit to be sure about his identity, but it's not the case. And the spirit answering confirms it, not at all. Deceptive spirits often employ this means in order to better deceive you. Okay, so spirits who want to mislead you, they can come when you call one spirit and they come instead of the one you called, or they may also come spontaneously under a false identity and with different purposes. Okay, so you see, this question of identity of the spirits, as we have seen it in a past lesson, is something which requires always to the mediumistic groups and leaders and mediums themselves to be careful. We always need to analyze carefully all the aspects, the language, the opportunity, analyze also if it makes sense or not. We cannot dispense at any moment this analysis, okay? Because we can never be sure of the identity of a spirit who is coming. The only way is to judge by what has been brought, to judge by the work they have done.
Charles,
24.
can I say
Yes.
something about that?
Of course.
You know, something came to my mind now about the identity of the spirits, because unfortunately at this point of our lives as a planet, we're still very hooked up to personalities. And you know, we've seen again and again and again how the personality doesn't matter. What matters is exactly our actions and how aligned it is with the laws, with the divine laws and the laws of nature. So, you know, we are still so hooked up in this identity thing. And if we think a little bit, as Spiritism came to enlighten us that and fix in our minds once and for all that we are eternal beings and our lives are towards the infinite. And how many experiences I had with all the names in other circumstances, and I must have acted in such a way that now I am not anymore. So, you know, it is a bit like, for example, when Emmanuel came to talk to Chico, and he just came in a familiar way, let's say a more familiar way to him, but being that spirit with so many other experiences, he could appear in other ways as well, depending on the relation to other spirits. So it is like we are still hooked to personalities, because it's sort of a net, or who am I talking to? Oh, the name have this weight, and you know, this person could have been great or could have not been great. We don't know. When we get to the spiritual world, all the masks drop to the ground. There is no such a thing anymore. You are who you are with all the things, and there is no way for you to pretend in any way. So yeah, you know, we are still attached to that. And for me, it's so important this, we are eternal beings, we are eternal beings. Personalities, they don't, it doesn't integrate in that picture to me. So now I am Elizabeth, but you know, in another incarnation, you know, I will be and be seen with a different name and a different thing. So, you know, as well looking at my past. So this is kind of something that we just all need to move from and just focus in the actions and the relevance of the message, really.
Exactly. So we judge the tree by its fruits. So there is no other way. And it is of course, I know spiritist groups, they attract a lot of people because they claim they reveal the name of the spiritual mentor of each one. You see, what do you think about this? It makes no sense at all. The mentor says, okay, call me John, Peter, whatever, like how you prefer. Often they had no name on the earth or so long ago that it doesn't matter. And then you have people saying, oh no, we have to classify the angels and the archangels and then blah, 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 you know, all this. Also, I prefer the Kardec's point of view, which says, for the good spirits, their individuality gets hidden behind their perfection. You know, if it's Jesus or Krishna or whoever, they will come with the same message for us. They are so higher than us. Who are we to rank them? So it's really childish. Okay, let's look to the message. And let's put it into practice. Do unto the other what you would like to do unto us. Okay. Whoever said it, let's put into practice because it's something absolutely good. And you are right. I mean, it's another, how to say, bias, where some people, a lot of lose time and even money. We have 2 minutes still, 24. Let's do 24. When we evoke a spirit by our thought, will it answer even if it doesn't express itself through writing or some other means? This means when you call someone and there is no medium enabling this person to communicate, will this person come even so? Answer: writing is a physical means by which a spirit shows its presence, but it is the thought that attracts it and not the act of writing. Again, very straightforward, the self-supported. If you have, for instance, a good thought, I love my mother, I'm thinking to her right now, for sure, this thought will go to her, and maybe she will even be attracted and come. This is how it works, as simple as that. Even if she cannot write, even if she cannot, how to say, communicate easily with me through intuition or inspiration, she will come and send me some good fluids, greeting, and so on. Okay, let's do one more. When a less evolved spirit manifests, can we make it withdraw? If there is a bad spelling coming, making perturbation in the mediumistic meeting, how can we, how to say, ask him to go? Answer: yes, but by not listening to it. However, how can you expect it to withdraw if you are amused by its turpitude? Like the fools among you, low-order spirits attach themselves to those who listen to them complacently. So basically, we get trapped by bad thoughts. Okay, these bad thoughts may attract these spirits, and to ask them to withdraw, there is no other way than withdrawing the bad thoughts from us first. If you want to withdraw bad spirits, you have to attract the good ones. That's the best way. And so we know how to do it. We told it several times, and it's applying also here. But the people who were laughing, making joke or whatever, get amused, whatever, no, this will not withdraw him. At the opposite, it will attract him. Okay? So I think it's our time now. We will stop here. I don't know if, yes, Raphael joined us. So Raphael, may I hand over to you for the closing prayer vibration?
Yes, yes, yes.